welcome back to the channel. Today we are here to discuss Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16 reunion part 3, so the final episode of season 16. And I will say I had a lot more to talk about from the third part of this reunion than the other two, and I know I'm beating a dead horse here. However, if the point, what's that saying? If the point sticks, y'all get what I'm trying to say. Again, I feel like we don't need 3 parts to these reunions, because my notes for like the last part were like this big, and the first part maybe a little bit bigger. What is Bravo's hesitancy against a 90-minute special? I just want to know. If anybody knows, please let me know. Now, first things first, I have to point out, because I love when people do this, it's so funny to me. When Porsha and Shamea were going back and forth, one of them said, like, why do you want to argue with me? And the other one said, because you're lying. And then Shamea was like, and so are you. And I said, if somebody said I'm lying, and I wasn't lying, my direct answer would be, no, I'm not. But her answer was, so are you. So y'all both lied. And I believe that. Okay, I do believe that they are both telling fibs. And I'm not going to get off of this. Either Shamea and Porsha are playing this up for the camera, or they just have so much shit that they have never talked about in their friendship. I can believe either one, right? Do I think that the mom stuff should have been brought up? No. I said that when it was brought, when Porsha got all bent up out of shape about it during the season and went on Instagram about it, and I'm saying it now. And I do agree with me. I do think that there's a little bit more than that daycare mess, because it's giving, I don't know. I read, was it a blog? An article? A blogger? Something. I heard something in the streets of the internet that said that the conversation that went down between Shamea's mom and Portia's mom was that Portia's mom was like, oh, I'm gonna lose my business, and I don't care who buys it as long as it's not a friend. What an odd thing to say. As long as it's not a friend. Like, interesting. Interesting. Either way, I don't want to spend too much time on their mom's business unless Diane and what's Shamea's mom's name? Shamea's mom. Unless they're going to get up on the couch. And you know what? We had room over there at the end. Even Cynthia could go. Okay, she was just there because Britt didn't show up, because Tanya Randall got pregnant. Just kidding. They could have been down there and we could have filled in some of that. You know what I mean? Now, Andy told us that Porsha has said that she wants Shamea and has wanted Shamea to be a peach holder for a long time. Cynthia corroborated that. Okay, boom, close it. I just don't know where they go from there. Okay. I feel like Shamea admitted this. She hangs on to things a lot, and I can kind of relate to that, right? People joke and they say, oh, I'm not going to say anything to you the first time, like I build a RICO case. I might say something to somebody, but after that, and you keep doing that, then yes, I am building the RICO case. And once I file them charges, you're guilty as charged. We will never speak again. We're never going back. But I think also for me, since Britt is not there, it does feel like Porsha got oddly close with Britt all of a sudden and is listening to what she says and taking things to the reunion that, again, are not going to get solved, because Britt's never going to be back. She didn't come. She's not coming back to the platform. Like, I don't know. And it makes me feel weird that it seems like Porsha and Britt are all like buddy now. But I also did feel Shamea when she was like, she keeps referencing when Porsha and Phaedra talked about her and Candy hooking up, or her hooking up with Todd and Candy, whatever. I understood what she was saying when she was like, you could have messed up my engagement by revealing that information. I wasn't even on the show full time. Phaedra keeps going like, this is 2016. This is 2016. Okay, it's 2025 and I still want to talk about it. Why? Because you never should have opened your fucking mouth and said that shit about me. Shamea got online this week and it was very odd. She made an apology video about anybody she ever hurt. Did I watch it? No. TLDR, right? As the kids say. I got the gist. I did see the first couple 30 seconds, and that's what immediately made me disengage, because she was like, okay, I guess I'm doing this. My elders have never steered me wrong. Mine have. Some of them, okay, not purposefully. I don't understand why she needed to get on there and make that apology. It's not that deep. It's housewives, okay? Then the men come out. Shamea, does Gerald does Gerald know what the requirements are for this platform, right? Because even Charles Oakley showed up and he said, like, I'm just here to support my wife. We know Charles Oakley don't want to be there, especially with all of y'all claiming that you know him from a can of paint, and you really don't. Between Gerald not being there and then her making that apology video, I'm like, hold on, girl, are you not coming back? And I don't agree with that. Every first-year housewife is rough. I think that everybody should come back for a second season. The only two people I thought that should not come back for a second season were from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Diana Jenkins and Anne-Marie. Okay, those two, that was enough. No, thank you. You have a good day. Let me not do too much on them because, you know, Anne-Marie be popping up in the corners of the internet trying to write paragraphs and shit. Anyways, moving on. The only thing that I gathered, and you know what, Drew be lying. I never thought I'd see the day. Never thought I'd see the day where I was in Drew Sidora's corner. But I got to rock with her on this one. The only thing that I learned in between Drew, Dennis, and Portia's thing is that Portia and Dennis be lying. Drew be telling fibs too. Drew be lying too. But Portia and Dennis were lying. Listen, it's very weird to me that Portia's whole hang up of like, you should have texted me, right? Because what I heard was Drew wanted to give Portia the consideration of a phone call. She did not think that that was information that should be relayed to Portia via a text message because she thinks more of her than that. Did she say that? No, but that's, if you ask to call me and you want to talk to me on the phone about something, I'm going to assume that's because you would like to genuinely give me the opportunity to have a conversation about it face to face instead of just like shooting off a text. I feel like Drew was damned if she did, damned if she didn't in that situation, because had she texted her, then Portia just would have used it as ammo and been like, we were friends. I gave you a go naked contract and you sent me a text message about filming with my baby daddy. That's how I feel like Portia would have taken it. So I just don't. And you know what? They already squashed it also. Dennis, it doesn't come to a shock to me that he was telling fibs. He's a man. Right? Now, on to another liar. Ralph. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I was about to go through the roof. Ralph, let me look at my notes here. Okay, first of all, Ralph said, I don't lie. Yes, you do. You actually do. Then he said, I don't understand why all this energy when it comes to him and Drew. We are getting a divorce. And it's very, very stressful. You won't get out the goddamn basement. You keep coming on to my job, because make no mistake, Real Housewives of Atlanta is Drew's job, and trying to make a case for yourself. You're making all these jokes on the internet. Every other day we get online and Ralph got something to say about Drew, releasing her text messages, all this petty ass shit. Hell, he just released an R&B song the other day. So what the fuck do you mean that you don't understand the energy? Why don't you understand the energy? Oh my God. See, I'm getting worked up. Why did these men do that? Why? And then he was like, oh, well, you know, her attitude changes towards me. You know who else said that shit? Jax Taylor. And when it comes to Jax and Ralph, let me explain something. Whether or not Brittany and Drew were arguing with them and then texting them being like, you know what, I'm sorry, I want to work on this, I miss you, blah, blah. Y'all are getting a divorce. Divorces are not easy. You have to go through the motions. There might be some time when they are like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Blah, 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 blah. And that's fine too. I doubt it. Okay. But even if they were, it's fine. These men acting like as soon as you say you don't want to be with them anymore, you need to shut your feelings off. Do we ever think about how y'all act? You know, because it's very, very hot and cold. That's what the lying gives you. Oh my gosh, I can't stand it. I cannot stand it. I really can't. But even if she gave him a hug, they were co-parenting and cooking together. He always does something to be petty and make her mood change. And I totally understand. Especially when she was talking about, you know, the video and him putting that caption up there. You knew what you were doing, Ralph. Yes, you did, sir. So of course her mood's going to change towards you. Again, I never thought I'd see the day when I was such a big Drew Sidora person, but here I am because I feel like Drew got a lot of unnecessary heat this season. In the past, no. You know, Drew be acting up a little bit, but I was rocking with her because she was right this season. And then even talking about the lady that has been in the house. Oh, just because, you know, she's on the manifesto doesn't mean she was at the house. So she wasn't at the house? Yeah, she was at the house. Did she come in the house? No, she didn't come in the house. But we were working. You see how you already got caught up in a lie? Yeah. Now, you notice how when Charles came out there and said, how do y'all know me? How do y'all know me? None of them could say, Charles, we met at this XYZ. You shook my hand and we had a brief conversation about XYZ. They just keep saying, oh, you were at so-and-so's wedding. You were at so-and-so's wedding, in the sense of like we were in the same room. Well, technically, if that's meeting somebody, then I've done met Beyonce a couple times because I've been to her concerts, and technically we're in the same room then. Like, let's be for real. All of those women were talking big shit about Charles. We didn't know Charles Oakley was married. And he said the same thing I said. Google him. Google him. If you didn't keep up with him, that's one thing, right? But Google him. Google says that he's married. And why are y'all so concerned about it? I don't care what Phaedra says. She did come on to the show questioning their marriage. She did. And she's like, oh, this is Housewives. Yes, meaning you should have something else in your arsenal except for poking at someone's marriage. But you didn't. And calling her what did she call her? The youngest old lady ever. Like, it's weak. If you didn't want to answer these questions, Phaedra, why did you poke at the marriage and make it sound like you knew information that you didn't have? And then she even said, well, I haven't seen Charles in 10 years. Exactly what I was saying during the season when she was carrying on. If I ain't seen somebody in 10 years, dead ass, I'm not going to sit here and act like I know what's going on with them. If I meet their wife, I'm going to be like, hey, nice to meet you. Oh, yeah, I met your husband, you know, some years back, but this girl's been a long time. How y'all been? You see how normal that is? Even if you're on Housewives. Like, my God, there's going to be friction somewhere else. Just hold your horses. But like she said, she only had 2 weeks. So she had to make some things up somewhere. And I feel like she thought Angela was the easiest target. But that's going to wrap up all of my thoughts on season 16 reunion part 3 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I had an okay time this season, right? We had a lot to talk about up front with the whole Brit and Kenya of it all. Middle of the season was end really, really tapered off, but I think we have good bones. And I can't remember if I said this at the beginning of the episode, y'all know what I'm trying to say. I heard that K. Michelle is going to be on the show. I really hope that's true. And you know what else is funny? Apparently Jocelyn Hernandez tweeted, I don't know why they won't let me on. Girl, that would turn into a completely different show. But let me know how y'all are feeling about the season as a whole now that it's come to a wrap. Who do you want to see cast? And when I say that, they done already told us no Kenya, no Nene. Okay, so we all would love to see them, but it's not gonna happen. Who else would y'all love to see cast? Let me know down in the comments, and I will talk to y'all next time. Bye.